Welcome back. I hope those were good 5 minutes for everyone. I would like to welcome everyone back. Short break, but like I promised, we'll catch up with the time. This second session for the second day of Africa Smart City Digital Transformation Conference, the first conference within the frame of Africa Digital Week. I hope you enjoyed the very first session. I'm saying one more time, everyone, you'll be receiving the recordings, the presentation. You'll be able to get in touch through our LinkedIn groups and so on and so on. I believe with us already are our afternoon presenters and panelists. I introduced them very briefly just before I announced the break. We have here Mohammed Chalan, Head of Technology, Omar Qassem, LSA Group, Karat, Real Estate Development, Saudi Arabia. We have with us Ivan Reutner, who's a leading professional in smart mobility from Royal Haskoning, DHV South Africa. And we have Ahmed Abdelwahab joining us from Vodafone Egypt. I would like to just make sure that all the gentlemen are with us. I see Mohammed is with us.
Yes, I am there.
Hello, Mohammed, and we will be, as we spoke before that, we will start with your presentation. We will start with you this afternoon. Your presentation with the title, Unique Value Generators for Smart Cities in Africa. Mohammed, if you're ready, you can share your screen, your presentation.
Okay, let me do that.
We can go ahead.
Okay, so you can see my screen now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
You can make it a full screen.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to this. It's really an opportunity to tell something about Africa in particularly, and about also what we have done in Saudi Arabia for some activities. So thank you very much. I'll start actually to think the presentation will be about the unique value generation of smart cities in Africa. And I am Mohammed Chalan. I am the head of technology for Aqarat Real Estate, which is one of the master developers here in Saudi Arabia. I have just published a book about
Mohammed, if I just interrupt you for a second, if you can go a little slower so we make sure that everyone understands, and because not everyone is a native speaker. Thank you.
Fine. So my name is Mohammed Chalan. I'm the head of technology for Aqarat Real Estate, which is the major developer here in Saudi Arabia. We have been in this business since long time, and today we are moving into smart cities. Also, I have published a book recently about the innovative and agile contracting for digital transformation and Industry 4, which is directed somehow to smart city contracting and how we manage this kind of information. My agenda actually today, because we are in the pandemic area, so that everyone is talking about the pandemic, so I need to plant the hope, how we will start and how smart cities will plant the hope and how we can deliver value. This is one thing. The other thing is why Africa is unique actually in terms of how we make a smart city and how we build smart city there. The third thing, we are talking about some use cases and how we build a case study or a use case for smart city in certain places. I will talk somehow about emerging technologies, and in these emerging technologies, I need to tell what emerging technologies can be beautiful for us and can you be usable. Then I will have to talk about the 10 steps to build a digital transformation project. In Planting Hope, actually, we see that there have been a lot of issues in COVID-19, but of course, there was a lot of benefits. For us, for technology people, we see that everyone is now recognizing the value of technology because everyone is looking for sustainable city. Everyone is looking for to have not curfew for a whole country. It can be for certain locations. So all of this actually will help us in technology will help us in this regard. Additionally, what we see actually, there was a lot of Industry 4 restructuring or opportunities where we help in removing this pandemic, in tracking the people who have this, and helping people. So there was a lot of things actually good in what we have. So there's bad things, of course, but there is good things, and also always we need to plant the hope. This is my attitude. What we have done actually, for example, in the previous, there was a kind of pandemic in 1918. It lasts for 2-3 years as well. And we see the same pictures We see people who are wearing masks. We see people in buses sanitizing the buses and something like this. So it was same. And out of this pandemic, as well as the previous industrial revolution, we see that there was an increased interest in public health problems. There was localization of services. There was new rules for building and for ventilation. So out of every pandemic, we will have opportunities coming similarly for technology. This is, for example, Sydney. This is between 1932 and between 2017. We find how these technologies, how the three previous industrial revolutions have affected us. And here in Africa now, when we are talking about Africa, we are talking about place that will have a lot of potential. Because in here, as you see in the statistics, we see that by 2035, we'll find half of the population will be urban. And all this population will need a lot of services. And after that, and beyond that, the urban numbers are increasing. So that we need to have an opportunity to build new cities and new services. When we are talking about this, I'm talking about two concepts: the smart city as well as the resilient city. When you are talking about a smart city, then we are talking about how we can help in technology. Technology can help us in the economic development and the urbanization, helping people, making life easy. But also we need to have it like a kind of sustainability. Sustainability, because, for example, when we have analogy with humans, the human cannot live with just a body. He need a heart, he need a mind, he need a spirit. And in the same methodology and in the same mechanism, we'll find that we need this for the cities. So our cities will need to be economical scaling. We have a lot of kinds how we manage the economy. How, in case there's a curfew or there's something, we can manage certain areas rather than having a lot of issues. We need to control everything. We need to have a kind of governance so that we can control and we can take control in case of any problems. The society itself, it's very important we get people involved. We train people. We help people doing a lot of activities and engage with our activities, because it's not a matter that we are just building a city. We are building a city, but at the same time, we have to have the society engaged. The environment, we are talking about smart cities that will talk for some time. And in case for this, we need to sustain it for different years, for multiple years. So it is really very important that we think about the environment, about the new generations. So this is the same analogy between humans and between the cities. Similarly, when we are talking about in Africa, we have opportunities. And the reason for this, we have multiple technopoles actually in Africa that can be developed easily into smart cities. And it's on outskirts of every city or a lot of cities in Africa. We have this kind of technopoles. And this happens, for example, in the United States. The Silicon Valley itself, it was an example of a technopole that was developed and moved into a smart location. We have a lot of technology companies there, and we are driving technology. And I think this will happen someday soon in Africa as well. Here is the map, and we have a lot of techno balls in Africa. I think part of them or a lot of them will be moving, inshallah, soon into smart cities and resilient cities. And why we are talking this, actually, we have some things that's unique for Africa. In Africa, I have been visiting Africa for different times, and some cities or some countries, they don't have the burden, for example, of the legacy infrastructure that we have in other cities, like in Europe. In Europe, you have a lot of there is a burden actually of the legacy infrastructure. You have to remove some infrastructure, or you have to do a lot of activities because it's very crowded, or there is some restrictions. But in Africa, it's usually white land in some areas. You can go and build your projects in very good manner without that issues. Also, in case of governance and in case of complexity of rules or political issues, you will have that in Africa. You can find some movement and some production without the happening like this burdens of rules and regulation that's very tough or something like this in other countries. We can look also in Africa is moving because of smart cities. It can be like satellite cities where you can build a smart city there and connect it with transportation. You don't need to have to build it on a town or self that's existing. For this, for example, we have mobile generation. The mobile can reach everywhere. Similarly, for the power generation. The power generation today can be done on solar systems and renewable energies, so we can build a smart city easily without having a lot of issues. Additionally, we have like people there. People are changing in Africa, and we have a lot of efforts being to engage people. So in this, I think Africa is on an edge of a new revolution in cities and in housing. And we see this actually in multiple countries that's coming. And when we are talking about smart cities or about, we are talking about not only elite city for certain people. We are talking about cities for everyone. Everyone will be start working in these cities. We will find a lot of opportunities coming for everyone. And in this also, it's a kind of sustainability. So we can sustain the business and we can sustain people who are working and make it for 20, 30 years that are coming. So it is very important. The community itself, the community is very important, that we see resilient community who are working with different stakeholders in different locations, in different countries even, so that we can build an ecosystem that is sustainable. So we have to take care that smart cities is for everyone. It's not for certain people. And when we are talking about this, we are talking about, it's not only technology. We are talking about technology aspects. We have new technologies, but the same, we have some kind of institutional aspects that we are taking about, or we are talking about, and we have huge human aspects that we need to take care about, because it's about people. When we are talking about smart cities, it's not about technology. It's about people, how we add value to people. And this is very important. Today, actually, we see that different countries or different cities in different maturity levels. We cannot say a single case, okay, we are traveling to different locations. We see several smart cities in different areas. But of course, every case is unique. And in every case, you have to understand, are you in the inspiration phase? Are you in the evolving phase? Do you have some cities mastering? Do you need the full town or the full city to be resilient? Or just you are talking about certain locations, or you are talking about outskirts of a country or a city? So it is very important. It's case by case. So we have to understand and we have to plan carefully for smart cities. When we are talking about technologies, for example, we have this Gartner report, which is usually telling the technology, the smart technologies that we are using for smart cities. And of course, there are some technologies that will be maturing in a few years. Some technologies will die in a few years. So it is very important we take care about these technologies and we understand which technology to use. And in here comes the very important thing that we are talking about, which is we have these technologies, and a lot of my friends have talked about these technologies. So, but which technology we choose? This is very important. When we choose a technology, for example, we have IoT, we have mobile technology, we have smart parking, we have different technologies. But the important thing is how we think about this and to benefit. So, for example, when we have a city, when we are planning for a city, we start planning to thinking of the challenges that we have. In every country, in every city, we have different challenges from others. So we have to be careful and to take care about what we need to tackle in this. Then we size the opportunity, how we can solve this problem. Is it a problem that can be solved by technology? Is it a problem that can be solved by different issues? So we need to think about it. We move then to finding the relevant technology that will help us in solving this problem. And for example, here in Saudi Arabia, we have multiple locations that have been turned into smart locations, like in Yanbu Industrial City, like in Riyadh, we have some smart cities. We have it in Neom. So every case is case by case, and every case actually is different. And what kind of services and industries or something like this, and planning, it's different planning for every city because it's unique. Everyone is case by case. After that, we are using and building digital use cases. In digital use cases, we think which technology will be available for us and how we can utilize this. Later on, we will talk about the business case, how it will be feasible and how we can build on that. Here also, when we are talking, we have to think about the infrastructure for it. We are thinking about the physical assets, the connectivity, the flow, and the domains that we are talking about, services. So there is a lot of components that we have to tackle when we are planning for a smart city, and it will be a case by case for every country, for every location even, because this is what I said, that what we have here in Saudi Arabia. One important concept for this is what's called the value deconstruction. And I'm calling this actually because this is very important term for smart cities. In here, what we find actually, the smart city, it is like we are a developer, and usually we go for 1 million, 2 million square meters that we develop in 2-3 years, and then we quit out of this project. This is usually, but in here, for when you are running a smart city, it's totally different, because you are talking about 20-30 years of operation. So you have to have a technology that is sustainable and that will help you for a long term. Then you are talking about, rather than 10 or 15 partners, you are talking about sometimes hundreds of partners who are working with you, and every partner will have certain things. You have a partner for IoT, you'll have a partner for sensors, you'll have a partner for connectivity. And because this is actually, you have to have the right time, how and when to engage the right partner. And your role as a master developer will be a kind of orchestrator about this kind of huge contractors. You are not talking about tens. You are now making about 100 contractors or even more. And in this also, you need to be very agile. Agile meaning that you need to take care how and when to have any service. For example, I cannot contract for an IoT product, for example, since the beginning of the project, because technology is just changing, and I have to take the right time to contract, and right time to deliver, and right time to install equipment, and right time to remove this equipment, and maybe and put new equipment. We see a lot of security issues. We have a lot of things. So it is very important how we tackle this, and we need to be flexible so that we can run the right technology at the right time from the right provider. This will take us actually to how we are planning this, how we are making it for every kind of technologies, for transportation, for others. We need to make it future planning, sustainability, how the people analytics will help us in making from one project to another project, and from one to other. And of course, we need to be effective in spending our monies. We don't have huge monies, so we need to be very effective in spending the monies. And in here, we can say that we need to define clearly the purpose of the city. So for example, we have in Yanbu industrial city, it's defined, and it is industrial city. So we have to tackle it. It is a smart city, but for industrial people actually. So it's different from, for example, in Riyadh, what we have for financial district, which is smart as well. So it's totally different. We have to define your purposes. Then you have to anticipate the future plans and how will happen, or what will happen. After that, you will build the ecosystem that will help you. Build ecosystem, meaning that who will partner with you, who will provide the service, what services you will do, and who will be benefiting from that. After that, you need to arrange to solve short-term problems as well as long-term problems, because we don't have any project without problems. After this, we need to take care that we are talking about people, we are talking about national plans. So everything needs to fit into the national plans that we are in. We are not in silos. And in here also, it's very important to take care about some main concepts, like, for example, the 3 I's of smart cities. It is well instrumented. So we have to take care about the instrumentation we are used, about the interconnectivity, and everything will be intelligent. So you will be having, for example, a huge data that you need to handle and to benefit of it, because it's not, there is no meaning that you have this data and then you are not benefiting out of it. And of course, because we are caring about the sustainability, so we have to take care that everything can be recycled, because you know now it's not like you have the technology that will last for hundreds of years. We are talking about technologies that last for a few years. Then you have to replace this technology and to reuse this technology in other projects, or to make it in other products. So it's, and we have to be very careful. Also, we need to reduce the cost associated with it. We need to reduce the power emissions associated with it. We need to optimize in other ways so that we can get sustainable city. One important concept actually is for financing the smart city. There's some people who are talking about banking the smart city, meaning that smart city itself, when you are hiring this smart city, you can find some partners who are long-term partners. It can be crowdfunding, it can be private funding, it can be international funding. So there is a lot of activities, but you have to have a business case, which is a very business case that is turning your smart city project into a bank that will give people the opportunity to share and to benefit from out of it. So it is very important how you plan your business case so that you can get people in. And for this also, we have talking about how to champion the public-private partnership. So even in here in Saudi Arabia, for example, which is a rich country, we have some kind of partnerships with public-private, either international or local vendors who are handling some projects or developing some parts. So this is very, very important actually. And also what we have is the value chain. We have, it's very important. For example, we have service providers for data management. We have for telco operators. So it's very important actually how we build the value chain so that everything will get value out of this kind of projects. And of course, we need to find the good partners who will be helping us and reaching the value. In here, this is my last slide. Actually, I'll be talking about just a planning, 10 steps for planning for a smart city, just in summary of my presentation. So I will hear that first, we have to study the city. So as I tell, actually, it is not, it's a case by case. No two cities are similar. We will take care about other projects or other similar cities, but it's unique for us. So we have to take care about it. When we create smart city, we have a smart steering team as well from private and public sector, and sometimes from financial institutes, from international foundations, so that you can have a good steering committee, because this project is not a small project. It will affect everything, and a failure of such project will have a massive disaster actually. Rather than this, we have to identify the main challenges that we are having in this location, in this city, while building. Is it with people? Is it with financing? Is it with what? So it's very important. Collecting data is very important. How we collect data and how we manage and handle the data that we handling and seeing. Also, then we are talking about creating a strategic action plan, because this project, as I told, actually, it will be for a long time and will affect the national plans. Then we are talking about how to build a management map for this project. It's a project that will last for a long time, and we have to take care about it. Usually we implement some pilot projects. We will not go in a big project because we have to test certain points. Then we have to find pilot projects. We monitor and evaluate these pilot projects, and this is where the agility comes actually. In agility, you will be agile so that you can change the routes every time and make new dimensions and new routes and new directions for your journey. It's a journey. It's not like just something that's just a destination. So also we need to have some kind of capacity planning for stakeholders and with the stakeholders, so that we can take care about what we are doing and how these stakeholders will stay with us. Later on, we have to be very dynamic. So it will be, we have to have very good coordination processes. We have to be very dynamic, very agile, so that we can get the value out of these kind of smart cities. So that's actually from my side, what I was trying to tell about how we manage the smart cities. And there are some cases, I hope it's beneficial. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the presentation, Mohammed.